All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the E-Estate Revolution webinar. We do this every single Sunday night. I'm your host, Vaughn Morrill. We do this at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Sunday night, where we go over the E-Estate platform, talk about what's new with the platform, what's going on in the digital real estate space, and what's going on with what we do, which is fractional ownership of many different properties. Okay, fractional ownership of many different properties. This is a great concept. It's been around for a long time. Some people in the past have tried to put it into play and it hasn't quite worked out. But the people at eEstate really have a strong, I believe, a strong game plan, right, to help us get to the next level when it comes to owning fractional property using cryptocurrency, right? Crypto in, crypto out. That way everybody can get in. The rules are the same for everyone, right? And there's no need to get special licenses or special permission, from your government or wherever you live. Hey, with crypto, you don't have to do that right now. Okay, and so it's very attractive in terms of becoming a digital real estate agent as opposed to a traditional real estate agent. And also, the concept of fractional ownership is awesome, right? So I might not be able to go out and afford a $250 million house, but I can afford $1,000 or $2,000 to put in on that house. And then for the fraction we put in, that's the amount that we get paid off of in terms of the growth of the house, whether it's just from the property value going up or whether it's from actually renting out the location, right? Whatever have you. And eEstate does that for us and brings us the profits. So all we're really doing in this is putting our money to work for us, right? One of my favorite quotes by Warren Buffett, he said, hey, if you don't figure out a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to be working for the rest of your life, right? Now, I don't have a problem working, right? But I like to work from a place of strength, not a place of like, oh my God, how am I going to pay the next bill, right? Or how am I going to pay for my house? Or how I'm going to make it next month, right? I don't want to work from a place of scarcity, right? I want to work from a place of abundance, okay? And so that's what we're doing. We're building a business, and there's two ways to do it. You can do it as a passive investor, right? Grow your money that way. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that tonight. You can also join in as an agent, right? Which when you join as an agent, you're able to invite your friends, family, your network, whether maybe you've got a ton of friends on Facebook, maybe you're a YouTuber like me, whatever have you, right? You're able to put the word out there and actually make money as an agent, and it goes down 8 levels. So there's a real opportunity to make money that way. Okay.
Always right. Okay, sorry. Sister, okay.
All right, guys, make sure your mics are muted. Please and thank you. All right, so what we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, is a couple of things. First thing I want to hit on is, oh, wait a minute, hang on. Let me share my screen before I forget to do that. Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing that I want to hit on, guys, is, and let me just make sure this is working. Yeah, is this right here. So there's a new property bonus, right, when it comes to the luxury villa in Los Angeles, right? The luxury villa in Los Angeles. I already own a fractional piece of this, but if I wanted to get more, then I would qualify for the bonus on it. So let's talk about it. And we'll also talk about what ETK is, and we'll do a couple wheel spins. So your bonus is 1,000 ETK property bonus. eEstate is offering exclusive investment opportunity, a luxury hillside villa in Los Angeles. Really is a nice property with an investment of 3120 or more, right? Everyone, a house out in the hills, right? You ever heard that term, a house out in the hills? They're talking about Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. And with this, you can get a fractionalized piece of that, right? Hey. So you not only get tokenized real estate shares with daily passive income of 0.51% through 0.71%, but you also receive an instant 1,000 ETK bonus. This limited time offer runs until September 2nd, 2025, so really not that long, guys. It's already August 24th. The property includes a pool, panoramic views, luxury finishes, while providing long-term returns. So after the first 18 months, investors earn 10% annual lifetime income. And that's how it is on all of these guys. Any type of property that you invest with this, you got your first 18 months where you're getting a supercharged, right, payout, like for example of this between 0.51 through 0.71% a day, right? And then it switches over after the 18 months to a 10% annual lifetime income. And you can join the investor group. So if you click that, it'll take you over to the Telegram group. So if you haven't done that, make sure you go ahead and do that. Okay, it takes you over to the Telegram group, and it allows you to join the e-estate investor group, which is one of the groups, right, that I spam with my videos about e-estate and about the upcoming webinars, right? So if you want to get spammed by the Vaughn, right, and a lot of other agents and people who are working for e-estate, join the investor group. But there really is a lot of knowledge, guys. There's a lot of knowledge that goes along with it, and it is a great, great resource. Here's what ETK is. All right, ETK is like bonus money, right, that you get in your platform. And what you do is, for every 100 ETK that you have, you're able to do a wheel spin, right? So I spin the wheel, I spend 100 ETK, right? And then I get real money, right, which is added to my wallet, right? So in that spin, I got $2. Let's spin it down to 1,000. We'll do 3 more spins. I'm still trying to get that $1,000. It is possible to hit 1,000. It's also possible to hit 0. Okay, so it's just the luck of the draw with this. And but it's cool because it's like, hey, it's just extra income for doing what you're already going to do anyway, right? And it's putting it directly into your e-wallet. All right, last spin. All right, cool. Add to e-wallet. So if I go back to my e-wallet here, you'll be able to see, hey, look, $9, right? Just like that, right? And you add it to whatever you have in there, right? So you take your assets, whatever you've gained on your profit or whatever you've gained in your agent balance, you send it to your e-wallet, and then you make a withdrawal to your crypto wallet. Okay, that's how that works. Really simple. Okay, so we hit on that. What I also want to talk about is I wanted to talk about where you can find, and let me just go back to the beginning so I can show you where you can find your potential yearly income, right? And then I will share with you my yearly income and a strategy to keep having that same income, and then also to compound the 10%, right, year after year. I'll show you how that works in a second. So what you do is you start up here and you go to buyer, right? Now, you don't want to go to your actual real estate that you already own. You want to just click on real estate, because this is where it's going to show you the numbers, right? On what you already own, it'll show you your personal numbers, right? But if you click on real estate, it will show you your potential numbers, right, that you can potentially make per year. So we're going to go over and click on real estate. And as you can see, the first location here is the apartments in Miami that it's showing, right? Now you can get into this for as low as $10. You make 4 cents a day, and per year you make $10.05. Okay? Now, go over to houses, and let's say you've got 1,000 in houses. Well, that's $1,400 per year, and it shows it right there. So I do have 1,000 in houses. Go over to villas, 3120, which produces, look at this, 4,758 in a year. Okay, and it shows you right there, so it does all the math for you. So that's exactly what I've got in the villas. And then we go over to commerce. This is another one that I have. And I have $14,000 that is in this commerce, yielding me a profit there of $24,850 a year. And it shows it to you right there. Right, so once again, you just go to the buyer area, click on real estate, not my assets, just click on real estate, and it will show you the numbers. Okay? Now you get a year, and then you get 6 months. So it's 18 months total with that type of payment on that same one, which will also introduce a compounding component if you compound these year after year, meaning you take your profits and you reinvest, right, again, okay, in that same platform. Like, so for example, if I wait a year, I get my 24,850 in commerce, and then I take 14,000 out of that, boom, buy another investment in commerce and do it again. So that way I'm compounding year after year, the 6 month period, but I'm also ensuring that I'm making $24,850 per year using that same $14,000. Okay. Now, in my case, I have $31,008 in passive income coming per year, right? Year after year. Because once I get the 31,000, guess what? I'm going to take those initial amounts and put it back in. The 14,000, the 3,000 in the villas, and the 1,000 in the houses, and probably then some if I go on to buy more properties. Okay, but I'm showing you how I'm locking in and ensuring that I make myself an income of $31,008 per year. Okay, now let's talk about the 10% that you also get. So after the first year, I'm going to start making 10% on that 31K. It's going to be $1,852 the first year. Now by going in and doing it again, right, repeating the process, you're going to have $3,704 extra dollars the second year. You're going to have $5,556, excuse me, the third year. So on and so forth. So you're building on that 10% that's guaranteed for a lifetime. Plus, you're getting those 6 months, right? Because remember, this doesn't go for just a year, it goes for 18 months. So you're getting those 6 months on top of the yearly that we haven't even talked about. Okay, and you're ensuring yourself a passive income. So you can reverse engineer how much money you need to make, right? So let's say, for example, let's do 20,000 in this, right? That gives yourself on this alone a $35,000 a year income. 50,000. Now you're giving yourself an $88,000 a year income. Now that's quit your job money, man. And this is based on the premise, right? On the premise that e-estate is going to continue on. And we have reason to believe, right, that it has the ability to do that. Is it 100% guaranteed? Listen, no, it's not. This is a crypto platform just like any other crypto platform. Don't invest anything you can't afford to lose. Withdraw early, withdraw often. Practice mental toughness, right? And make sure that you're diversifying your portfolio. Have a large portfolio. Guys, have diversified assets, okay? Because, hey, there's a lot of freedom in crypto, but there's also a lot of risk. High risk, high reward. So based on the idea that e-estate is going to continue forward years into the future, this could potentially guarantee you with the 50,000 investment an 88,750 just to start. Just to start. We're just talking about the first year. An $88,750 income, that is quit your job money, right? Guys, now, when I first got started in business, I was a restaurant manager, right? This was years ago, right? I'm an old guy. Everybody knows I'm old, okay? But back at that time, I made like $35,000 a year. That's what I made, right? And believe me, I was working a lot. As a restaurant manager, you never sleep. You got to be at the restaurant all the time. You have a constant headache, right? It never ends. The turnover, right? The customers, the getting slammed all the time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? It contributed to just a lot of stress. And to think that there would come a day where I could take a $50,000 investment and turn that into an $88,750 a year income without all of that work, all of that stress. It just wasn't around back then. There was nothing like that back then. It wasn't available. The only type of people who were doing those kinds of returns were millionaires because they could get into the high-paying hedge funds using money that they already had to make even more money. So if you got millions, you can make more millions. But if you don't, you're out of luck, baby. You got to grind. You got to do whatever you got to do. Okay? And that's one thing I love about crypto is it's leveling the playing field and it's allowing everybody, right, who so chooses to get in and play, right? And I'm a guy who's had a lot of success in the space. Right, I've had, I've been involved in a lot of different platforms. Okay, I've had wins, I've had losses, but overall, it's been an overarching upward direction. Right, it allowed me to do things I never thought I would be able to do. Okay, so regardless, there's no limit here. I mean, you can, like I said, if you go down to the Miami apartment, you can get into it for as low as $10, right? And at that point, yeah, these are small amounts, but it's not the amounts, it's the percentages that you have to look at. Because the same percentage that you do with $10, you can do with 100. The same percentage you do with 100, you can do with 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so on. So if you focus on the percentages, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, then you can see the potential, right? The real potential for growth. So this is my passive income investments and returns spreadsheet. You can see that I've got a few things going on right now. I've got 18,000 plus in e-estate, so obviously this is my number one. But I also play in some of the other risky crypto investment spaces. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But if you look at this, we've got on Kim Lines, I got a 60% increase. I put in 100, I got back 160. Guess what? I made $60. The next one, RagFi, rugged out before I made a dime. I lost $20. Right, Capitalized 5, I'm still in. Atlantic, I was in there. I made $7.50, but it was a 15% increase. And what I'm saying is when you look at the percentages and you build yourself a way to become successful and make a net profit with these things, you're going to start seeing the opportunity to make a whole lot of money passively. And that's the dream, right? So we can go by me earlier today, right? I was with my family. We busted out the stroller and we walked down the street. There's a big carnival going on and we just spent money at the carnival, right? We got funnel cake. We rode the rides. My wife told me that I'm absolutely crazy because she was terrified on one of the rides and I'm laughing. She's like, why do you have to be so crazy? Right? Hey, I was having fun. My point is, what is the value of being able to do stuff like that? Have that like quality family time. What's the value like of my daughter having a dad around? Right? And I'm not gone at a restaurant all the time. You can't really put a numerical value on that, guys. And so we're on the path to that with this. All right, so we looked at the investor side big time, right, with those numbers. And by the way, I will be sharing this video on my E-Estate Revolution YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it again, if you want to bust out your calculator and do some numbers, feel free to do so on that channel. Go ahead and sign up if you haven't yet. I think everybody who's even semi-affiliated with E-Estate is on there because the channel's fully dedicated to E-Estate and it's already got over 4,000 subscribers. So I think anybody who ever even heard of E-Estate at this point is on the channel. But if you're not, make sure that you get on there, okay? Because there's a lot of good information that I put on there for you guys. You don't need to click my link, guys. If somebody else invited you to the webinar, go ahead and click their link, right? Make sure that you give back to whoever invited you here, right? This is just for knowledge, right? This is not for like me trying to build my own personal agency, right? This is just general knowledge for the company. So whoever invited you, make sure you sign up under them. And then when you invite somebody, hey, we'll make sure that they sign up under you, right? And under that person. All right, so if we look at the agent side, there's also money to be made there. And I've got to go ahead and pull that up. And here we go. Where's that agent list? All right, I want to get the numbers right. Here we go. Agent commission details. All right, so we really hit home and we hammered on the investment side. Here's the agency side. Okay, you get money on the deal commissions and you get a percentage of their profits, right? Which is, I mean, it's just another way to make a lot of income, right, from building a agency. You earn a commission on whatever people buy directly under you. That's your first level, 6%. Okay? Now let's say somebody comes along and buys a fractional ownership of one of these opportunities under that person, right? Now they didn't have anything to do with you directly. So you signed somebody up right under you, and then that person signed somebody up. You didn't really have anything to do with that, but you still get paid. Level 2 commission, 2%. Okay? Say that person now signed somebody up, 2%. 2%, 2%, 1%, 1%, 1%, all the way down 8 levels deep. Hey, you find a couple of good leaders out there, find a couple of people who catch fire. This is how people really make a lot of money. This is how my friend Matt Morris made his money, was in these types of organizations called multi-level marketing. And he wrote the book, The Unemployed Millionaire. He also co-authored this one, which, there it is, Power Leadership, right? Me and him wrote this book back in 2022. And shameless plug there for that one. But guys, you get a couple of good leaders and forget about it. You're starting to get money coming in. And we haven't even talked about the profit commission. So this is what's so cool. Not only do you get the commission on them and what they purchased, but you also get percentages of their profits. So now you've got a whole nother funnel of money, a whole nother stream of income here, right? So you've got the investment stream, you've got the compounding stream, you've got the reinvesting strategy that I shared, you've got the straight commissions, and you've got the profit commissions. So there's really a lot of ways to make money here. Okay? Now, why do I think e-estate has the ability to last? Okay, why do I think that e-estate has the ability to last? Let's see what I can do here. Okay. It's because they don't go overboard with the percentages. So they're giving a real prospective percentage on what you could hope to make in any of these investments, right? They're not giving you 5% a day, right? Or 12% a day. Guys, that stuff is not sustainable. I mean, hey, I play in that space. I have fun with it, right? I've got my way of doing it. And I do a whole channel about that over at the Unlimited Freedom Network. But this is not that, right? These are percentages that are manageable, right? And numbers that are manageable. Hey, you pay the passive income for 18 months, boom, you switch over to a 10% a year deal. Now that could be sustainable long term. And that's why a lot of us are hoping, right, that this one will be kind of a long-term play, right, that we all can get into and benefit from for years to come. But hey, it's going to be the same as anything else, guys. First come, first served, right? The people who get into it now are going to be the future leaders of the entire platform. Okay, so hey, whether you get in at $10, $100, $1,000, or if you put in $18,000 like I did, there is a place to get started, right? And to start, building that career and that possibility. Can it work? You bet. You bet it can. I'm living proof, guys. I've seen these work. I've experienced when these work. And it's great. It's like you hit a wave and you ride that baby, and it's a beautiful thing. I know you can experience it because I've experienced it. Right? You got to have that mental toughness, though. Got to be able to get up when you get knocked down, have a couple of battle wounds, have a couple of war wounds, have a couple of scars. I never want to go to battle with somebody who doesn't have a couple of scars. If you're going to fight beside me, I want to see that you've been in some battles before. I don't want to go to battle with a rookie. Right? You keep pressing in. Don't let failure stop you. Right? And that's the way it's done. And one day you get that jolt of electricity and it just happens. Right? All right, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning into the webinar. We're going to call it a night for this one. Stop over to the YouTube page to check out a replay. And if you guys want to reach out to me, just email me or hit me up at the E-Estate Revolution YouTube page. And have a great night. We'll talk to you later.